Time to talk about women in politics.
All right, now women have actually made great strides forward in obtaining a vote and a right to be elected in political offices in many African countries. But right now, they comprise of only 24% of the over 12,000 parliamentarians in Africa. Now 25% in the lower houses and about 20% in the upper houses of parliament, and less than 5% of heads of state worldwide. Now, while local government is often hailed as a training ground for women in politics, women constitute a mere 21% of councillors.
In Kenya, Cameroon, and Ghana, traditional perceptions of women as inferior to men prevail as many people uphold cultural practices which enhance the subordination of women. Now, at a global level, the Sustainable Development Goal 5 on gender equality provides for the increase and meaningful participation of women in political decision-making.
Now, this global agenda is to be achieved by 2030, and it will remain a dream if Africa does not change its systems, its practices and policies to ensure that more women sit on the political decision-making table. Now, while some African countries have surpassed the 50% mark of women in political decision-making at a parliament level, there is a need to cultivate enabling grounds for local government level to cabinet level for women to participate in politics.
Now, we have joining us right here on Breakfast Central. Yes, Folakemi Falana. She is a women's rights activist and entertainment lawyer. Folakemi, good morning to you. Welcome to Breakfast Central.
Oh, good morning. It's nice to join you this morning.
All right, Folakemi, let's begin by understanding what it means to even have women in politics.
To be honest, historically, women have not been taken seriously, whether in politics or, in society generally. Africa and Nigeria in general has been patriarchal, and so women have not been given, equal rights in general, whether the right to be heard, the right to work, all rights for women have not been equal compared to men. And so, this is something that activists have been, fighting for. And yes, we're, finally seeing some change, but it's still not enough. 20-something% is still far too little, and we really need to do better.
All right. Well, so far, Folakemi, only 10 women have become presidents in Africa. Also, women comprise over 24% of the over 12,000 parliamentarians in Africa. That's 25% in lower houses and 20% in upper houses of parliament. And this number is really poor compared to the number of women on the continent. Now, how would you react to these figures?
Like I said, we're still far from where we need to be, and we need to keep having these conversations. We need to keep fighting for change. We need to continue to get to the point where we need to be. And until we're past having this first female chief judge, first female president, first female this, first female that, until we leave that place and until we get to the point of equality and equity, we need to continue to work to strive for better.
All right, talking about equality, I know there was a bill that was brought out in 2016. That is the equal opportunity bill that was being sponsored by Olujimi, and this was in 2016. And this is what 2021, almost 5 years after, and the bill is still sitting on the table in the Senate. Now, Africa is hoping to have more women with these equal opportunities participate in all levels of political decision making without hindrance, without fear, and with full support. But what is the first step we need to do in achieving this?
I think the first step will be, first of all, realizing that, women are just as capable as men. Women can get the work done just as well as men, if not even better sometimes. And until we have female representation, until we have to start from the grassroots. So until, husbands take their wives seriously, until companies take their female employees seriously, we're not going to get to the top, to the point of having women in politics. And of course, it is when we have women in politics represented that we can have these sort of bills even, make it to be passed. Because if you don't have women in the House fighting for these bills, they're never going to get passed into law. And if women are not given the same opportunities that men are, and so it's a bit of an unfortunate vicious cycle. And if we don't start from the very bottom, we're not going to get to the change that we want to see at the top.
All right, Folakemi, because we need to really ask you this. We've seen the recent emergence of the likes of Suluhu Hassan as the president of Tanzania and Justice Martha Koome, the nomination as the chief judge in Kenya, and also Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who is a popular name as director general of the World Trade Organization. Now, what does this mean for African women, because these women are African women, to be fully involved in politics and leadership?
I mean, it's amazing to see that, some parts are starting to catch on. And that we're starting to get to the point where we need to be. It's a lot of women were excited to see Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, because that's somebody we know, that's somebody, women can identify with, Nigerian women can identify with, and it was such an exciting time for women, and a lot of women were getting their young girls to even, take the challenge on social media. And I'm sure you saw a lot of pictures of young girls, having the head wrap and the glasses and, posting that on social media. It was something that was, such a delight to see. And it was like a glimmer of hope. It was something telling us that, look, we're finally getting heard. And if women who can do the job. So we're not asking for hand-me-downs. We're not begging to be seen. We're saying that there's some women who can do the job, who are as qualified as men are. And if you can just look at these women and give them the opportunity that they deserve, we will finally get to the point where we're trying to get to.
All right. Thank you very much, Falana, for staying with us on Breakfast Central this morning.
It's been a delight being here.